today is going to be about quantum leaping and how important quantum leaping is.
Well, first of all, what is quantum leaping? Talk about what is quantum leaping?
Let's talk about when you quantum leap, when, you know, like we move fast, and for people in our container, they're like almost like, you know, when you see like a cartoon character doing like that.
Yeah.
It's like, man, if you're not doing the work and you're not in our container doing the work, you're gonna feel left behind.
Yeah.
Not only because of other clients, and not saying that you compare yourself to others and stuff. One thing Simon Beard, the founder of Culture King, said was that business is sort of like snowboarding. If you are snowboarding with a beginner and you're advanced, it's annoying because you've got to like slow down and wait for them, and like you're not going to go down the mountain without them, and you're like waiting. But then if you're around business owners that are way better than you, you're sort of like trying to keep up and you're falling over and you're stuck in it. And I think life is very much the same.
But guess what? Money gives me opportunities. Money gives me be able to pay for my family to come over. Money gives me the opportunities to get into better rooms, to get the better health, to understand about gut health, or go to the best fitness gyms and be around the best people. I will say this again and again and again. Only broke people will say that money isn't
What is up, crew, and welcome to another episode of Spill the Tea. As you can see, a little bit of a different setup here. Absolutely amazing here down at MBP Studios in Dubai. And it's been a while since we've done a podcast. So the last few we did in Bali before we left, and we're coming here, and we've been so busy over the last 7 weeks. But we're going to get into that and what we've been doing. But first of all, I want to just talk on that. Today is going to be about quantum leaping and how important quantum leaping is. And
what is quantum leaping?
What is quantum limping? We're not quantum limping. We're quantum leaping.
We're leaping over here, guys. We're not limping.
And one thing that we've really realized is that we actually quantum leap quite a lot. So
is it funny because was it like, you know, beginning of this year? I think it was. The years go so fast now, so I don't even know what year we're in. But I said to you, like, I want to learn more about quantum physics and leaping and quantum leaping and understanding more on the energetic side of things. And you said to me the other day, it's funny because you wanted to learn more about this, but actually this is what we've been doing this whole time without really even understanding quantum leaping. So well,
let's talk about a quantum leap right now. Literally, like, we look like we're in our suits and stuff, but we're sick, we got a cold, and we're going to go into that. But like we when we first did our podcast, we had hair done, nails done, tan's going to be done. I've got to have new clothes. Like, you got to look good.
It's got to be perfect. Got to have the script.
It's got to be perfect.
Got to know what you're talking about.
That's right. It's got to have all the right stuff. And now, just like anyone, we just get in and get it done.
Yeah.
And like, I'm in this pink shirt because I've actually forgotten my collared shirt today. I chucked on a hat. The tie's hardly done.
Still looks hot, babe.
I know. I'm looking amazing.
At least he's got a matching
hat
to go with.
I don't even know if
orange Crocs, pink top.
I'm all tied up in here, but you know, like, I haven't got my beard done. Like, I'm just like, we're just coming here and just getting it done.
We're just getting it done.
So quantum leaping for me was like definitely like how fast and rapidly we keep moving. So I think for us, there's a positive and negative to everything. But
well, first of all, what is quantum leaping? Talk about what is quantum leaping?
For me, it's like, okay, we get hyped about an event and we sit down and we're like, we're going to do this is the music we're going to have these speakers. And then we even went to the lengths of the last tour of Australia. We've done 6 tours now, but the last one, we were like, all right, let's do this. And then we literally planned like the whole like schedule and how it's going to look. We even booked in all the venues. We spent hours and hours and hours on you know, the booking platforms, setting it all up.
Spent a lot of money on meta ads.
We spent a lot of money on meta ads, and then we got a whole heap of sales, which wasn't bad. But then at the same time, something happened, and we're like, we're not feeling it.
We're not aligned with this anymore. And I think, to be honest, what's happening to us And we've spoken about this so much, and for everyone listening, that was the quantum leap. You know, like you do the thing, and then you go to do it, and you're like, shit, I've already quantum leaped out of that, and I haven't even done it yet.
Well, you've leaped before you've even done
completed it.
Yeah, so, and that's what we do a lot. And there was a bit of a challenge for me, which was saying that, you know, as we know, master of one and practice makes not perfect, but it makes
shit go.
Improvement.
It does the shit.
That's right.
And then you figure it out later.
Exactly, more reps. But for me, I'm like, we don't do anything enough because we just change so much. And Kirsty's like, new shiny thing, and like, hey, put everything in the bin. We're gonna do this. I'm like, but we had like a year plan of like how this was all gonna work out and blah blah blah. And then you're like, nah, new thing, new country, new city, and I'm like. What's good about that is that if something isn't working or something isn't aligning to us, instead of forcing it or failing it, I don't like the word failure, but just say we went through with the tour and it wasn't to our expectations, or we did it and we hated it the whole time because it wasn't aligned with, or it kept us further away from our other visions. You especially have gotten really good at just going, nah, erase, fresh new paper. And we've done that so much with our business lately. Like, we've set out our entire business for the whole year and literally scrunched that up 3 months into the year and then gone, nah, something else. And everyone's like, what the hell? You guys were here and now you're there and you said you were doing this. And it's like, even our family, like your brother rings you up and he's like, what country are you in now?
Well, you know, Mick, one of our best friends, Mick, I'm like, hey, Mick, let's go do this. And he's like, Kirsty, until I see the flights are booked and you're in that country, I'm not doing anything until I see it and you're committed, because we do change so fast. And I think
that's the quantum leaping.
That is the quantum leaping. And one thing that I've become so good at, and I think you've definitely become better at being more flexible. You used to be definitely not flexible. You used to be like, this is the plan, second to the plan. When you first did your events, it's like, had to be done second by second, or everything that you had planned.
And if something didn't go to that plan, I would just have a meltdown.
Span it on the works, like you're just having a meltdown. For me, if something's not working, I make decisions very fast.
Yeah.
You not so fast. You need to, there's a whole
I'm a lot
process.
Better now.
Yeah. But I'm a fast person. If something doesn't work, I want the result. I want the solution. What is it? I'm not going to dwell on it. And that came from the 2022, done is better than perfect, and fail fast and move forward. And so
they were our mottos of that
They
year.
were our two very solid foundations. And so, you know, if you've been following us for a while, we've always got something for the year that we really stand on, and we really, like, you know, cement those anchors. And the quantum leaping, like, you know, with the event, there was a part of me that was like, didn't really know what I wanted, if I wanted to do that, but I felt like the right thing. We had a lot of pressure. People wanted it. I was like, you know, it felt right, but it didn't at the same time. And then the quantum leap was the fact that I wanted my kids to have that stability. I wanted to move to Dubai and I wanted to do that. So then I was like, okay, I'm not gonna do the tour. And I want this for anybody that's in here listening, as a leader or a coach, business owner, that
anything.
You started this business. Remember that. You started and went into business so you could make your own rules and that you could make your own decisions. And you didn't go into business to go in and make your clients like do what they wanted or to do what the people wanted. You went in there because you wanted freedom, money to be do what you wanted to do. You loved what you did. You had the impact. You had all those kind of things. And you didn't want to be told by your boss that you had to come to work at that certain time, or you couldn't have a lunch break, or you couldn't take annual leave. That's reason. So I want you to really remember why you got into business in the first place. And that quantum leaping is making the hard decisions and then just going off and doing it. And I think we spoke about this before, that you and me, like, will be fully interstate, and before we even get to launch it or see it through, we've already quantum leaped straight out of that, and we haven't even been able to implement it because we've moved straight out of it straight away, which I think is like, it's a beautiful part of business, and also just knowing that you can cut ties whenever you want.
That's right. And so the opposite of quantum leaping, all right?
Yeah.
The opposite is, like, you see these people stuck in a relationship for 10 years, toxic, you know, trauma bonds. You see people that are at the same job forever and they hate it. And you see people doing the same stuff and there's no growth. Like I always say, I want to look at my memories on social media when they come up from 12 months ago and absolutely cringe, or absolutely be like, holy crap, my life was so different. Because for me, the biggest fear is having the same car, same job, same relationship.
Yeah, me too, buddy, me too. We heard that relationship.
But I mean like bad ones. Like if it's a great job, like, and the thing is, I think a lot of people who are really deep in it, they're like, well, I love my job. And then
but can I also say this, like, that's great.
That is great.
You're not here to like, if you love your job and if you love your life, we're not here for you to change that. It's for people that are not loving their life, that are not wanting to
But that's
show
what
up.
keeps you stuck more when you think it's okay. Like it's like,
so
it's not bad.
Yes, and do you know what? And we were going to go into this and really into detail, but the biggest, I think, blocks in life is when you're good or comfortable. There's
Because
not
there's no
enough.
push to grow.
There's not enough pain for you to change.
That's right.
And things aren't, and things are okay. They're not great, but they're not bad enough for you to do anything. And so you're driven by two things. You're driven by, the pain of changing, or that you want better.
That's
and
right.
if you're in the good or comfortable and like there's no desire to get any better because you don't, you've got it okay.
Yeah.
You've got no desire
the bills
to go
are paid.
better. Yeah.
There's food on the table. We go
I've got
out
a
every
nice
now and
house.
again.
I've got a nice
But
car.
my question is this: to anyone who's worked for the man and they're like actually happy, then ask them, all right, if you won $60 billion tomorrow, would you rock up to work? And if your answer is no, then you don't.
60 billion is a little bit crazy.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, enough money to retire your family and your kids for a couple lifetimes.
Yeah.
My thing is like, because 100 million, like these big lotto draws, we see 100 million. Like it's unless you're investing that money, like you see people blow that.
But you know what? Let's talk about that. So, we're paying for our family to come over to Dubai.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with my family 2 days ago, and my dad can't come over because of work.
Yeah.
And he said, he's had too much time off recently, so he can't take it.
But imagine being told you've had too much time off this year.
Let me remind you, my dad is like, 64, 65, I think. They can retire. They can retire. They've got, I think, 7 to 8 houses.
Yeah.
They can retire. Now, but my dad loves his job. Loves his job enough to not come to Dubai for a fully paid holiday.
And they're not poor, like you said. They're not.
They
don't need the money.
They don't have to work.
Yeah.
But he's ingrained.
He's loyal.
The patterns are so ingrained. He's loyal. It's
loyal.
his projects. He's very high up in
Dedicated.
in Western Power. He's dedicated, hard worker. It's ingrained. There's ingrained behaviour. It's habit stacking. He would never miss a day. He always shows up. Doesn't have sick days. He's probably got thousands of hours of sick days.
He's been there how long?
But then for years, he came here in 2009, so whatever that is. Now, don't do the maths. Anyway, I sat there and I said to my mum, fuck that. Like, I would hate to be in that position where, you might only have, 5, 10, 15, 20 years left. And yet at this age, he's giving up an amazing opportunity, all fully paid because of work. And I said, okay, what about
to be with your
7 days?
family?
To be with your family.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I sat on the bed with Bo and I said, are we realizing how lucky we are? Like, I'm sitting in Dubai and we're exactly where I want to be. I'm making the own choices. We're going to Turkey in 2 weeks.
We were literally going to go to Greece last week.
Yeah.
And then we didn't because we had some other things that we needed to be responsible for. And we're doing our Emirates IDs and our
kids' visas and
kids'
stuff.
visas and
so
everything.
that's the reason why we didn't go.
So there was a bit of stuff there, and then
we had real life things we had to save for. That's why. But
by the time this comes out, you probably would have had surgery. But we're going to Turkey to do surgery. That's a definite. We're definitely doing
we'll
that.
talk about that. But my thing was just like I just felt so free, and also in this quantum leaping, it's very easy to forget where you came from. And this is the kind of place where I'm sitting at the moment. The other day, we were going through stuff. We're in Dubai, and you have to capture yourself. You have to constantly check yourself. And I said that, I was like, man, like, are we realizing, like, it's 7 weeks? 7 weeks has gone so fast. Life has just been going so fast. It's nearly August. It's my birthday in 2 days, July 16th. It's going to be August. Then I'm like, oh, my God, then we're going to Christmas. The year's over. Like, my mind's already gone, like, the year's over. And I sat on the balcony yesterday, and I was like, we live in Dubai. Like, are we taking a moment to really let this settle in? Because life happens so fast. And the other day, we had some challenges going on in our life and business and personal life and stuff like that. And you forget. You become comfortable within your environment very, very quickly. So you have to check yourself as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, like, you were saying just a couple of days ago, like, we should go to USA, we should do this. And it's like, it's always the next thing.
Yeah.
And, like, I think we were even saying, like, with you, with business, like, you're entrepreneurial, like that is your personality. You've had that many businesses, you're constantly innovating.
I love it.
Even in We Breathe Success, it's constantly like, we've just created We Breathe Success 2.0. We've only just started doing We Breathe Success. Before we were believe in your breath. Now you come to me the other day and you're like, we're going to do this. And I'm like, we've just released We Breathe Success 2.0. Slow down. Everyone hasn't even started.
No one has even integrated it yet.
They haven't even started. Never mind integration. So, I said, let everyone get in, and then as you want to add more stuff, we can. But
because
the thing is,
I'm always thinking about the more value for the client.
I know, but you got to understand this too. For one of my biggest lessons are universe won't allow you to the next level unless you're grateful for the one you're on. Also, when you are,
I'm grateful. I speak through gratitude.
I know, but when
I'm contemplating through gratitude as well.
When you're super, when you got challenges coming on and you're sitting in the challenge, it's the universe not trying to set you back. It's trying to test you and prepare you for the next level.
100%.
And that's literally helped me so much lately. When something bad happens, I take a deep breath and I'm like, all right, what is this showing me? What? Yeah, I'm ready. And then I let my ego make the decision. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm ready, universe. And then I move forward into it. But back to what we're just talking about. Yeah, like just. Moving through too fast, like I said to you, like when will not enough be enough? Because you've got all these other business ideas that you want to do in Dubai, and I'm all for it, but I'm like, Kirsty, like, and most entrepreneurs, you look at them and it's like they just keep working, and as you know, like we work on like being present with the kids and doing our breath work and actually enjoying the life because it's going so fast.
Yeah. Do you know what I think is interesting? You and me had this conversation when we went out so Sundays are our, recalibration day for business, and we connect and we work out like what's the week look like and where we're going with stuff. And do you want to know what I found? I came to you and I said, well, it's been on my mind. Bo said to me, I've brought this up on the podcast before, that I'd rather lose my business than my relationship. And we sat down, we're talking about that, and that's been sitting on my mind probably for the last 2 months. Mm-hmm. I was really thinking about that. And, I came to you yesterday at dinner and I said, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, the issue I have here is that the business gives me something. Like, I love my relationship, but if I had to choose between the relationship and the business, what would that look like? Because the business is the innovation. The business is the purpose. The business gives me that sense of achievement. And I truly believe that you gotta understand that humans need achievement as well. They need a reason. Now, do I want to lose my relationship at the sacrifice for my business? No. But do I want to give it up? No. But on the flip side of that, I want to go and do my business, but I want to come home to my man and my kids, because that's when I can drop in and be feeling like, it was a great day at work, and I can disconnect from work. Sometimes I'm putting a lot of
energy, not the masculine.
Yeah, not the fierce energy, but
like,
and dropping into coming home, cooking for the family, stuff like that. I want to come home to my family, but I don't also want to choose. And I think again that is where you've got to be honest with yourself. For you, your value system is fun, it's laughter, it's light, it's socializing. That's not me.
Fun stuff.
It's me sometimes.
If my fun cup's not filled up, I'm like,
and let's be honest.
Not depressed, but like I'm off.
Well, you're off. It's like this week. I said to you, I feel like you got to go do something. You got to go and find.
We're going to go down to Abu Dhabi to watch Bill Burr live, and now I'm like kicking myself because we had the We Breathe Success 2.0 launch party
on the Sunday,
which was yesterday, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, that was crazy, and that was awesome. We had a huge amount of people show up, and we put that on for free for the public to come in as we, launched the 2.0 of We Breathe Success, which is there's huge upgrades. And what's crazy about that, even our own container of people I can't believe this.
It's just wild. And they even, again guys, We Breathe Success 2.0, the launch was actually only going to be for the community, for them to know what was coming up.
Innovated,
and then I innovated. I was like, you know what, let's just let everyone come. And we ran ads to it, and we got a lot of people, and we got sign-ups. People came in and was like, holy shit, I want to be a part of this, and they want to be part of the community, and like what we are bringing to the market. Full payments, and it was just like, we got the best of the best, but that was never meant to be. So if anyone signed up, it was like a bonus.
And we had some really cool people too.
We had the best people.
And I'm going to see some massive changes in a lot of these.
Yeah,
people
and there's
fast.
we've got a lot of amazing people that are joining We Breathe Success, and the community is just elevating and leveling up. And quantum leaps are all quantum leaping, because when you're in a container with coaches who quantum leap, the community quantum leaps. You're part of the environment.
I was literally about to talk on that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about when you quantum leap, when you know, like we move fast, and for people in our container, they're like almost like, you know, when you see like a cartoon character go vroom, like that.
Yeah.
It's like, man, if you're not doing the work and you're not in our container doing the work, you're going to feel left behind.
Yeah.
Not only because of other clients, and not saying that you compare yourself to others and stuff, but like, you know, we want to take people to the top. And one thing Simon Beard, the founder of Culture King, said was that business is sort of like snowboarding. If you are snowboarding with a beginner and you're advanced, it's annoying because you've got to like slow down and wait for them, and like you're not going to go down the mountain without them, and you're like waiting. But then if you're around business owners that are way better than you, you're sort of like trying to keep up, and you're falling over and you're stacking it. And I think life is very much the same. Like, you know what I mean? If you're around people who are slower than you, they're going to hold you back. And if you're around people who are way faster than you, you know, but I believe that you want to be around slower people if you have an ego or validation issue, because you want to feel better than the rest of the room, which a lot of people do. I see that in a lot of people. Like I see girls who hang out in groups and they're the hottest one.
I know.
Because they couldn't stand having being the ugly one in the group.
Yeah.
Even though that's all opinionated.
See, I want to be around the hottest people.
That's exactly like me.
Inspired by that.
I want to be around the hottest girls.
I know
all the hottest girls.
Yep.
It's one thing to have a business or even the best product or service, but let's be real, when no-face Jackie32 jumps on Instagram throwing those nasty comments and you make it mean something about you, it doesn't matter how good your business is, you will crumble. That's why you need us.
Welcome to We Breathe Success, the ultimate experience for aspiring business owners, entrepreneurs, and coaches who are ready to break through to the next level.
Hi, I'm Kirsty Waddingham.
And I'm Bo Drury.
We're not just any mindset business mentorship, we are the world's best when it comes to mindset, breakthrough, and transformation.
Our approach combines breakthrough breathwork, powerful mindset techniques, manifestation, and strategic business coaching, setting you up for each week for success and action.
If you're truly serious about unlocking explosive growth, you're in the right place.
Success starts with one essential foundation, your mindset. Without it, even the best business strategies will fall apart.
That's why we go deeper than traditional coaching. We offer advanced biohacking and mindset reprogram.
Your network is your net worth, and now you have access to ours. With all of this, success isn't just a possibility, it's your only option.
We're here to help you break through your old limits, step into extraordinary success, and create unstoppable momentum for growth. We cover it all: mindset, somatic strategy, community, and connection.
So are you ready to be the leader, visionary, and powerhouse that you were meant to be? Click the link below. Let's book a call. That's not what I meant.
No, I know. But for me, I'm like, I know what it takes to look after that body. So I've got such a beautiful look on that.
In business and like people-wise, I want to be around people that inspire me and motivate me. If I'm going back and hanging out with people that like I can't even have a business conversation with because I'm like, oh, this and that, and they're like, oh, they don't see it, they don't believe in it. In Dubai, I would have a conversation with someone about business, and they'll inject steroids into it. They'll be like, all right, and then we'll do this, and we'll have it here, and we'll have
and then they'll come out with their connection, and like, I've got this, I've got that.
Yeah, and they'll give you because they're not insecure, they'll like, I'll give you my contacts, whatever, let's make this happen. And they want nothing out of it, but at the same time, it kind of makes you feel a little bit like, holy shit, because these guys are massive, you know what I mean? And I said, so like this morning to a friend, I said, there's people back in Perth in Australia that I really used to look up to money and business wise.
Yeah.
And they're probably worth like 10 or 20 million, which is a lot and more than I'm worth. But at the same time, I look at them now and that's not my goal.
Because your environment's different.
That's right. And now that I've been living in Dubai, I meet people that literally wipe their ass with $10 million. And then I look at them and I'm like, holy shit. And like, yes, of course we can go back to what's happy and does money make you happy and pleasure.
Money makes you happy. You know what? I'm going to say this straight up. Like, in the end, yes, rich within. That's why we have the rich within method. Okay. But guess what? Money gives me opportunities. Money gives me be able to pay for my family to come over. Money gives me the opportunities to get into better rooms, to get the better health, to understand about gut health, or go to the best fitness gyms and be around the best people. I will say this again and again and again. Only broke people will say that money isn't everything, or money isn't this, or money isn't that. They're broke because at the top, when you're rich, yes, they'll say money's not everything. That's true.
Because they
money
get to a certain
isn't
point
everything.
where they're like, all right, what am I chasing?
That's exactly
have
right.
like an ego death or whatever.
And, you know, for me, with, you know, the entrepreneurship and the businesses and stuff like that, there's so many things that I want to do in this lifetime, but I love it. There's nothing better than me than getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning and just working on my shit. Like, I am obsessed with it, and it's what makes me happy. Like, you can sit there and scroll reels. That is so mind-numbingly dumb for me that I couldn't do that. Like, I can't go and just scroll reels unless it's giving me something like, that's a business thing, or you're sending me something to do with business. That's okay.
100%.
Only now and then, when I'm really fried from probably a big week, I'm like, I want to watch something mind-numbing on TV,
Netflix or whatever.
and I'm gonna binge something because I do everything fast,
And then
guys.
you'll eat as well.
And then I'll eat to
shit.
go with it,
Yeah.
and then I'll pull myself up and go, okay,
do
cool, that's
everything at
enough.
once.
Yeah,
But also,
I do everything at once. Yeah,
But also money, you didn't mention the word resources. Like,
Yeah.
the more money we have, the more better retreats we can put on We Be Success.
100%.
We can run better events with better food and better seating and
and
better
that's
experiences.
What everyone experienced in Weber's this.
As soon-
The last retreat, the people that came to the first one was like, whoa, what a level
because
up.
we had more income.
We had more
we
income.
could afford to actually put on
Give
an
more.
absolute show for
And that's
everyone.
all I want to do. I just want to be able to bring the very best to my clients,
Yeah.
to my family.
That's
I want
right.
my kids. I want my kids to see that it was possible. And I'm going to say this again and again and again. On my body, I have tattooed. It's not about the hand you're dealt in life, but how well you play the game. Now, if we go back to a little bit of a summary of my life, drug addiction, alcohol, overdoses, DV, all the things, I could have just continued on that life.
Of course.
You know, that made sense. She fit the statistics. I remember my dad saying to me, a few years after I had my first son, Carson, it was actually his my stepmom, and she actually said, to be honest, I thought that was probably it. I'd gone from drug, alcohol, abuse and all that kind of stuff, DV, then I had a kid. And I had a kid at 20. And she said, like, you know, I really just didn't think much would come from that, you know? And that's what society thinks.
And it's not about...
And I blew you the fuck away, everyone.
Yeah.
Bang.
And you know
Mic
what?
drop.
It's not about proving anyone else wrong. It's about proving yourself right. And I always say that. I always say it's not about proving anyone else wrong. It's about proving yourself right.
But if you need to use that as a little bit of your fuel at the time, go for it. Like,
of course.
My thing has always been like, I never seeked revenge in an evil way. I just got better. And I
Your revenge was
promised
success
my
and
revenge
happiness.
was success and happiness.
That's right.
And I never if someone did me wrong, you would never see me message and be like, hey, why'd you do that? Or why'd you do that? I'll be like showing up.
Well, hurt people,
That's
right?
exactly right.
But also hurt people have a choice to get better. And you know,
Or stay hurt,
the
unhealed.
safety in people is like, well, if I can hurt other people, I feel safe. So it always comes back to safety, you know?
Well, yeah, if I hurt that person, they can feel a level of my pain. They may be able to understand where I'm coming from. But hey, how about you change that pain and break through to find your happiness? You know, so yeah, I don't know. Money has its place, and money brings you the most beautiful opportunities. And at the end of the day, like, I want everyone that's in my world to experience, and I want my kids to know that you can do whatever you want in life. You have a choice.
And we've taught literally our clients that, you know, what is your relationship with money? And a lot of people are like, you know, money's hard work, money doesn't grow on trees, money's evil. That's a main one. And I'm like, money's only evil if it's in the hands of someone who is evil. Because if someone won the lottery who was very kind and gifting,
I just want to have like that massive land and help the
you
homeless in Australia. Like,
and you would
there's
do
so
everything
much.
for your family.
Oh man, there's
You know what I mean?
there's just so much that I want to do. Like, I always like, man, if I won lotto.
Let's talk about that right now. So Kirsty has breast implants, and she got them done just before Harvey.
Yeah. 2019.
Amazing boobies, by the way.
Thanks, babe.
But what happened was, after having Harvey, obviously women know, like, your body changes, and then they dropped, and they become very full and heavy and big, and you know.
So I got a D.
Yeah.
And then now like a A B C D E F G H. They're an H.
We'll upload the photos. So guys, if you're watching the video right now, listening to it, pull over. We'll put up the photos. But
He's lying, guys. He's lying. Don't pull over.
But seriously, like, you know, they dropped a lot, and then you weren't happy with them and stuff like that. And
Just got so heavy, like I couldn't run.
you
It's
couldn't
just, like,
run.
my neck
And
issues.
I was
my back.
watching you. You're breathing.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
then,
I've got
you're
a bit of a
breathing,
cold.
and you got to understand, like, these are like having 2 fucking watermelons hanging off your chest. Like, you know, your neck, your back problems, your flexibility, and also you know, I don't know if people know, but I have a lot of chick mates that have had implants, and a big thing that happens is after 10 years, they can leak, they can cause a lot of health problems, and we've had friends that had been real sick, and they've gone to take the implants out, not even thinking that was something to do with that. When they've
fully burst.
They've fully burst. They got like all this shit through their body, and then when they took them out, they could breathe better. They were healthier. They were happier. Their mental health changed because the toxins and stuff were removed from the body. They were not as tired. You know what I mean? Because the body's trying to reject it. So how many years have you had yours?
Since 2009, so I think it's 6 years.
Yeah. So we've had the decision over the last, you know, pretty much the last 6 months or something that you've wanted to, and I said, no, you're doing this for you.
Yeah.
And the main reason why I wanted to do this is because I want to see you happy, and you were like, I'm worried, you know, you're a boobs guy, and I'm worried. No, everyone's a boobs guy. But, you know, guys like boobs. But I was like, for me, like, it would be so selfish to me to say, how dare you do that, and I'm going to look elsewhere and blah, 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 because of the health issues you're going through. And also, like, I don't care what anyone says, the happy wife, happy life. Like,
I think
when
also,
you're happier and healthier, the house gets a better version of you. And that's why I say, when you're in this ultimate work mode, go do your breath work, have a coconut, lie in the sun, do whatever you want, even though you feel selfish because you've been away from your family. I'm like, that regulation, you come back that lighter version of you, and you come into the house. And you even didn't want to go on, you even wanted to go on antidepressants at one stage because you knew that your energy was so bad that it was affecting your family.
Yeah, and I couldn't snap out of it fast.
That's right.
And I'm a quick person. I try to quantum leap out of depression too.
Quantum leap out of anxiety.
Yeah.
But this is why I want you to go and do the surgery. Plus,
so if you guys haven't got this, I'm going in 2 weeks to get surgery.
In Turkey.
Now, I just want to say this. This is also what money gives us. You know, I made this decision literally a few days ago, like to actually commit to it.
Well, you've been on and off looking at different...
I've been on and off and all that kind of stuff. But money gives me the opportunity to go and do that. You know, obviously it's expensive to go over and get your... It's actually more expensive to get your boobs out than it was to put them in.
Yeah,
so isn't that interesting? Right? Yes, it is. But also, on that, I think it's like I'm excited to get the boobs out, but then I'm really worried about.
Amazing.
But I'm really worried about what it's going to look like, because before I got my surgery, the reason why I got the surgery is because they were so droopy. I'd had my kids, I'd done bodybuilding and stuff like that, so I'm in and out of, you know, weight on, weight off, all that kind of stuff, and so they were really loose and all that kind of stuff. So it's different when you go to get. Be enhanced.
When you're getting the boobs in, you're getting like a...
Well, you're getting enhancement. All right, so you're getting enhancement. You're adding to the perceived look of you. Whereas this is like, I'm taking something out, and you might not look as good as what you did, but you're going to feel better. But you're probably going to have like some scarring. There's going to be different stuff. There's recovery. So there's I think it's a whole different thing when you're going to do something to remove something, then to enhance it. And there's a little bit of fear. And then the last few nights, like I've been having a lot, like, what if I don't wake up? And I think it's truly because I'm so happy. I'm so happy in my life. I love my family so much. I've done so much work to have the life that I have now that it's a little bit scary that what if I didn't wake up?
Success is fearful, because when you're at rock bottom, and you got no kids,
you've got nothing to
everyone
lose.
hates you, you're on drugs and alcohol, you're a piece of shit, you feel like a piece of shit, you've got no money. It's like, who cares?
You're not a piece of shit, by the way. You're just going through some hard times. But yeah.
You feel like that.
You feel like that.
In your head, you actually believe it. And most people who take their lives, like, literally write on the note that, the world would be a better place without me.
Yeah.
That's how they feel, and then that's what they believe, so that's what they do, right? And it's exactly like when you believe you're amazing and when you believe you can do something, you'll do it. But my point here is that that's the mindset. So that's sort of like, I've completely lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I know.
What was I saying?
So anyway, we're talking about success, and that, you know, I said, like, you know, I was worried about, you know, being put under, because then what if it could be taken away from you? You know?
And I said, when you're successful, and the fear of success is because when you have all this responsibility, money, happiness, family, like, at least when you're single, no one can cheat on you and hurt you.
Yeah.
When you've got a loving relationship and you're so happy, it's almost scarier because that can be taken away from you. And then, or like when you got a lolly or a toy, that someone can take that away from you. But if you have nothing, no one can take anything.
That's exactly right. And I think that's most people live that way. You know, they try to avoid having things or whatever, because, you know, it could be taken away. And like me too.
Losing it.
Yeah, and like, you know, I've had that multiple times. You know, like, I love my life so much. My family's so good. You know, I sit on the couch with my family, and I'm just like, I'm so grateful what I have, and everything's so peaceful in the house.
The universe won't allow you to the next level until you're grateful for the one you're currently on, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah, but my life isn't bad, so my life is great.
That's right.
So when I'm going to go put myself in a situation which I'm choosing to do, it feels a little bit scary.
And spending a lot of money to do.
And spending a lot of money to do
But then you're also
that.
like, there's a part of you that's like, I should be putting in this into the business, or the kids need something and blah, blah. And like one of our clients who made like 50 grand overnight or whatever, what did she make?
Yeah, 45. Yeah.
45 grand overnight. And then she went and bought a washing machine because she's like, that has to go to something good.
Felt sick.
I can wash my kids' clothes with that. So
I
she
give it back to
started
the
pushing
family.
the money away.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I'm so proud of myself, I'm going to go buy myself some red bottoms or take myself out or pop a bottle, you know what I mean? Like, to celebrate that success. That's why we celebrate wins and we success every single week, every day. We're like, watch you win.
Yeah.
As soon as you're on a Zoom call, watch you win. Like, get so used to that being comfortable and
Get so used to bragging.
And bragging,
because most people are not allowed to brag. Like, don't say this.
Well, how many friends do you have that are rich and have everything, and they can't even talk to their own family and friends because they all just think it's gloating?
It's very interesting because today I just got off a one-to-one coaching call before I came here, and so she didn't pick up on this, but she was talking to me just like, I've just come back and, my dad was like, oh, you're making any money in your business yet? And then she's like trying to explain like, hey, like it takes time and I've got the back end stuff to do, blah, blah, blah. And then on the other end, when she was talking to me about stuff like this is within the 1 hour, and then she's like, then dad came up to me and was like, oh, you're working too much. Like you need to come out here and like hang out with your family. I said, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
And she feels like a failure. So her biggest thing is, so her problem at the moment is that hasn't launched the programs yet because she's trying to get it perfect to prevent the fear of failure. She said, like, I'm so scared to fail. She's got massive anxiety. I was watching her body language through our whole one-to-one chat, and this is the good thing about having coaches that have background in mindset transformation and NLP and hypnotherapy and have those tools, because I was watching it and I said, hey, I'm just going to stop you there.
Yeah.
Your biggest thing here is fear of failure, but let me just repeat what your dad said to you. One in saying, hey, you're not making any money, blah, blah, blah. The second thing is like, hey, stop working. You've got tennis going on in your head right now. And that's unconsciously playing every single day. That's the reason why you're trying to get it so right before you launch. That's the reason why you're so scared to be fully seen. Yep. That's the reason why, you've got so much fear of failing. But I said, at the same time, we'd had a conversation that week that she was comparing herself to other people in the community. And I said to her, I go, can you just stop? Like, do you have any idea how far along you are? Like, do you understand where you're sitting?
Take a second to reflect.
Take a second to reflect on that. And then once I pulled her back to get out of her head she was in, she sat there and I said, here's all the things.
Yeah.
How much more facts would you like?
Yeah.
And she's like, holy shit. I just couldn't see that.
But the fear,
and I said, that's the issue.
The fear is moving. The fear, like doing anything. Sometimes you just have this freeze mode, which your nervous system does.
Well, she had freeze mode because she's got tennis playing.
Of course. So you can't make a move because every move looks wrong. It's like going to play chess, but you think every move you're going to make is going to make you lose.
Her main drive is to please your parents.
Exactly.
How can you please your parents?
Especially when they don't understand your vision. They'll never be happy.
But you're getting hit at both ends.
Yeah.
Are you making any money? You're working too hard.
Do what they do.
Are you making any money? You're working too hard.
Yep. And I had this conversation with one of my best mates this morning at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And he said that I'll be so supportive of my son. No matter what he wants to do, I will support it. If he wants to be a ballerina, I'll support it. And I'm like, that's awesome. But the reason that you were like that was because your parents didn't support you in areas that you wish they did. Yeah. So you're trying to be that father.
You're overcompensating and changing. You're trying to break the patterns.
That's right. And you're overcompensating because you're like, I'll never make my kid feel like that. Even though his parents are amazing. They're not like...
They're great parents.
They're great people.
Yeah.
But they've just got their own stuff from their parents. And that's right. And he wants to be entrepreneur and he wants to do all these other things and sport and stuff like that.
So he wants to give his son the best of that too.
That's right. And I said to him, that's true, but only to a certain extent. Because if your son came to you with something you didn't understand, he's like, nah, I didn't care. If I didn't understand it, I'm still going to support it. I'm like, that's awesome. And that's great because you're going to give him that your parents didn't. But imagine if he came to you and said, hey, Dad, I want to be homeless and live on the street. And you're like, why would you want to do that? And it's like, well, look, other people are doing it. My friends are doing it. Like, you don't have to work. You just beg for money. It's fucking easy.
Okay, can I just be honest? Like, is there even a real conversation?
I did have that, yeah.
No, I know you had the conversation,
Yeah.
but I mean, is that like?
But that's the only thing I could think of.
I know, but that's not even a real scenario,
I know.
right? Like,
It's not.
No
But
one's going to come and be like, hey.
I was trying to help him understand.
Yeah.
Of something that's how his dad's feeling.
For sure.
His dad's feeling like it's this crazy thing that he doesn't understand. Business is crazy, and you just need to get a job and be safe.
Yeah, and make the money
and make the
support
money
your
and get a
family.
mortgage and do what we did.
Yeah.
We've got heaps of nuts saved up, and we've got we bought our house and we own it outright now. It's like fuck up, Dad. Fucking our house was 20 grand back then. Now it's different. It's
100%.
different though. I hate that because a lot of these old people, Martha. Back in my day, I bought my first house when I was 17. It was $17,000, mate. Just calm down.
Yeah,
and wages now are different. Tax is different now, and it even says for the millennials, it's so much harder. I don't know the percentage and the exact facts, but the ratio to house prices versus wages is absolutely insane. Back then, back then it was a lot closer together. You could pay off a house literally in
30 years,
easily. Now these young kids they're working their butts off with 2-3 jobs and they still can't afford. The banks are saying no to them. But it is pushing a lot of people to be entrepreneurs because it's like, well, fuck this. Why should I do this?
This is why I think that everybody needs to not rely on the system and people, and you need to create your own thing.
But they don't want that.
Be the destiny, but that's a choice.
Yeah.
And again, it's always going to go back to a choice. But let's look at your life, right? So your family, they thought they were doing the right thing by putting you on ADHD medication to focus to be in the school system. All right, us. Look and you never ever went on a flight. How many flights at Harvey?
Was so bad.
No, because your parents couldn't handle you.
Oh,
I'm talking about when you're
first,
younger.
Yeah.
So when you're younger.
I didn't do anything.
But then you're living your childhood through Harvey because Harvey is going everywhere. You take Harvey and the
because
best.
I can handle him. Because I get on his level and I get him to breathe and I take my time and I don't yell, I don't hit, I don't do things. Don't get me wrong, I have yelled and hit and I have fucking lost my shit. Yeah. But 90% of the time, I am a regulated dad, and that regulates him. And Harvey, if he has a cry or tantrum today, he wanted the phone and stuff, and I don't give him phones. He's only wanted it because yesterday we're all sick, and we
let him have the iPad.
We let him have the iPad for a little bit because we were just like we
sick.
couldn't.
But he hardly ever.
I
gets
take
the
Harvey
iPad.
out every day. You see that on socials, but I was just like nah, and Anyway, we're a bit off topic there, but my thing is that. Parents are everything, and what we teach and what we're, I always say with hypnotherapy, people are like, does hypnotherapy ever work? And I'm like, all right, well, you're hypnotized by what your parents' culture, religion, society, kids, family, friends. TV, media,
marketing, like McDonald's.
Everything has taught you what's right and wrong, what you like and what you don't like, what's up and down, left and right.
You know that red and yellow, you see that little M sign, that's McDonald's. That's hypnotherapy. You've been hypnotized.
So my job is to unhypnotize you from feeling like you can't break free, to know how to do the things, to believe in yourself, to actually follow your true identity and your heart on what you really want to do. Like, how many people join us and they're like, I'm a business owner, this is my business. And then you ask them a few questions, you're like, do you actually like doing this? Yeah, it makes heaps of money. And then when you do a little bit of inner work, they're like, I actually fucking hate this. And then they go in another direction. Yeah.
And we've had a lot of people to completely change industries in our container.
And I love it.
Because we get down to the core.
And that's why we consistently change WeBreathe Success to be what lights us up and what we think actually works with humans. And that's why
what we know to, we have our whole Rich Within method now, and it's 4 pillars before you even get to business strategy.
That's exactly
and because business strategy automatically sticks the moment your nervous system can handle it, can hold it, and feel safe. We want to create
happy millionaires, not all business strategy and no nervous system,
want you to be regulated.
No mindset.
The number one thing is to have connection, love, support, happiness. You nail all of those. You regulate your nervous system and have the mindset to actually get through the hardest freaking days. Like, I'm going to be honest, guys. Like, I'm here on this podcast, 1:45 this morning. I got a message from my mum. And I had really bad anxiety. I woke up at 1:45. This is how in tune I am with my family. I woke up at 1:45 a.m. I had a little bit of anxiety. I tried to go back to sleep. I couldn't. I got back up, grabbed my phone, and I had a missed call at 2 a.m. and a text message from my mum saying, "Could you please call me?" We all know when your parents going to call you at 2 o'clock in the morning, saying it's not right. Yeah. And so I got a...
And I was in my sleep, and you came in with water, and I was like, in my dream... I heard this voice say, Kirsty's the bearer of bad news.
Yeah.
Which you've woken me up so many times, like, with stress.
Want to know why that is? Because Kirsty's always up and Bo's always sleeping. That's all I hear.
I don't always
That's all.
sleep.
That's what I'm hearing of you.
You're acting like I'm a couch potato.
She always wakes me up. You said the thing. So
No,
anyway,
you wake me up one
I got
day
this
saying-
message. I've rung Mum, and my 20-year-old had woken up to go to work, and he had a seizure. He doesn't have seizures. He's never had a seizure in his life. It was no reason for it, and so he was getting rushed to hospital and ambulance. And guys, I had to deal with that. I had that going on. Also, I had back-to-back one-to-ones, and I had my coaching call that morning as well.
The launch of a whole entire program this week.
Exactly. So I'm going through the templates and everything. I'm getting calls in between my class, the text messages coming through. I've got one-to-ones. I've got the team meetings, and I'm in the studio right now. And so, like I said to Mum, do you think I should fly back? And she said, look, he's okay at the moment. Like, he's come out of it. He's totally fine. That it could just be a once-off. And so, these things are always going to happen, but one thing I want you to really take away from that conversation is that thank God that I am so regulated and I've got such a strong mindset that it didn't put me into a tizzy. I can still handle my workload. I'm not sitting here completely strung out. I've done my breath rate. I'm regulated. I know my decision making is calm and it's decisive and it's, I make the right decisions under the hardest challenges and situations. Now, if you don't have a regulated nervous system and you don't have a strong mindset, that could absolutely crumble you. I can't show it to my coaching call. I can't show it to my one-on-one. I'm scattered and going through all this stuff. Like, hey, I'm cancelling things because I'm like, I'm overheated and I'm like, and that horrible, high, frustrated energy or then dropping down into depression. I'm not like that because I can regulate myself. So that's why it's so important, guys, to have those two things mastered. And that's why if you master those two things, you'll always be able to master your life. So those are my biggest takeaways. And
that'll help with the quantum leaping, right?
And that'll help with the quantum leaping.
Coming back to that.
So I hope you guys enjoyed and learned, a little bit about quantum leaping and, what we're about and how get through the hard times and what quantum leaping is.
It's okay to move fast in other ways and then ask yourself the questions, am I moving too fast or do I need to slow down? Know your body, know your mind, know yourself.
Yeah, and give yourself permission. If something doesn't align for you anymore in your business or
no matter how hard you've worked at it or money you've put into it, if it's a dead horse.
100%. But on that, there were things that I planned in 2022 that is now getting rolled out in 2025.
Wow.
So how crazy is that? So just because you've done all the work doesn't mean that it's
okay to pivot and shift.
That's exactly right. But those things that I worked on back then are now we're going to be doing in Dubai. We've just seen a whole lot of work proposals to work with corporate. I planned that document in 2022 and here we are. So it's never a waste, guys.
We're just in the wrong city.
It's just it just didn't align at that time. Didn't work. Right. But now it's working. So enjoy the quantum leaping, had fun with it. Know that it doesn't always feel nice. It will feel stretchy, it'll feel uncomfortable. It'll feel like, if you're watching this, Bro does the whole rep things. It feels a little bit uncomfortable to begin with when you're doing this.
How quickly your neural pathways can create new ones.
So this feels uncomfortable.
How quick comfortability can come in.
So, but anyway, thank you so much. And just remember that you can break through at any time and just quantum leap and enjoy those quantum leaps and enjoy the journey, guys.
And that's what brings us into the next episode. I want to say thanks for listening to this one. You're amazing. You can do whatever you want to do with your life. Just got to show up. And take action. So the next podcast is all about action taking and how that aligns with the quantum leaping. You won't leap if you don't take the action.
That's exactly right.
And what's your biggest thing on the action taking? It's that knowledge isn't power.
Knowledge isn't power. Taking the action is.
Taking action is.
Yep.
And we'll see you there in the next ep. Let's go.
Big love.